And good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD Wednesday Night Live update. And it's right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And I got to thank this young lady because it's presented every Wednesday night by Specialty Sports. Specialty Sports is a sports store located at 702 Mall Boulevard right here in Savannah, Georgia. Although they are a retail store that specializes in specific sports, soccer, volleyball, disc golf, they can also supply you with sports gear and sports apparel. Once again, hey guys, thanks for coming on. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Chad, you doing well?
Doing great, man. Just been burning the road last 2 days.
Yeah, it seems like you're always burning the road in that car. And of course, Sierra Thomas, the specialty store general manager, and of course, soccer coach at Savannah United, soccer coach with Chad during the high school season, which they didn't get to do this year. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's always great bringing on the local people who support high school sports. Tell us how Sierra Thomas wound up in Savannah, or are you from Savannah?
I am not. I actually came to Savannah from Lexington, Kentucky, by way of SCAD. Played soccer there under Coach Andy Williamson and current head coach Rebecca Gunn, and decided after graduation that 3 months away was too long, and came back, thankfully, and I've been here ever since.
And what's so special about Savannah to Sierra Thomas?
It's been such a great place. Everybody from what I call home, which is Lexington, was kind of like, Savannah? What the heck? That's so far away. But once you're here, it's kind of that small town, but also it's big enough that you can do things. You can go take your family out downtown for a dinner, or go to the river. You can go to the beach. And we're not that far, but it's also small town, kind of quiet, and you can kind of do your own thing as well.
So you were landlocked in Kentucky, eh?
Well, we just have lots more fields of sorts.
Not water.
It's Kentucky basketball and horses, which it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But it's been nice to be down here in the South.
All right, now let people know about Specialty Sports. It's a sports store located on Mall Boulevard, 702 Mall Boulevard, right before you get over to where all the stores are. Tell them what you guys specialize in, but you also do T-shirts, apparel, gear. Let everybody know what you do, because you deserve this recognition for doing this for this whole month. Sponsoring our show every Wednesday night.
Well, and we appreciate the opportunity, and I'm gonna drop kind of a little. You're gonna get kind of an insider secret here. So in the end of July, we're gonna be launching kind of a side business. So Specialty Sports will stay. The owners have done a great job in this town, and we don't want to leave Specialty Sports. But our retail store will stay Specialty Sports, and we're going to launch a production side of our facility that's going to be called Custom Designs by Specialty Sports. So we're going to kind of relaunch a whole new branding side of it, so that we can kind of push our production side. So we do uniforms and team apparel and everything from corporate wear to pens, pencils, banners. We've kind of decided to do it all and be a one-stop shop. So we're just going to launch kind of a side business, and that's been my big quarantine project. So we'll be announcing that officially in July, but a little sneak peek there for you guys.
Chad, we always get a lot of firsts, right?
We do, man. It's been great. That's what I love about this show. Everybody comes on and kind of gives us the inside, whether it's Georgia Southern football or Georgia Southern basketball, or everybody. So it's great. Sierra, talk about the team sales side as well. I think people kind of forget as well, like the amount of schools that you have in this area that you do team sales with.
Yeah. So when I started 5 years ago, I only was a graphic designer, and that's obviously my love at the heart of it. But I decided when I jumped in that this was a local business that really needed to kind of tackle helping others in our community. And so, we really tried to push team sales. And now we actually have a staff of 3 salespeople, and they're doing great. And that's a little bit new for us. But we've kind of worked quietly with schools and businesses. And so now that's going to be our big push. So, Calvary's a big school for us. Savannah United's a big account for us. We're venturing into hanging out with Darren Van Tassel and Brad Nine with Tormenta. And so it's kind of been my big dream to push specialty sports to the next level and get everybody in our community involved, because as a local business, our end result is to help other businesses in our community. And so whether that's a school, a nonprofit, a church, we just really want to make sure that we're helping them, and then also we can give back to our community.
Well, I've been impressed with the way you guys have been going around, and, big time during the COVID pandemic, where I was going around and, telling people who was open, who was not open. But that 912 shirt, I mean, that helped a lot of businesses too, didn't it?
Yeah, so that was just kind of, we were trying to think, we can't sit at home and do nothing. That's just not really in my staff's nature. And so we kind of put our heads together and collaborated with some other businesses in town that we're good friends with, and so started the Savannah Strong and the 912 shirts, and we were able to kind of give back, and our last big give is going to be after the July 4th weekend, and it's going to be to PAC, which is a local group that gives back to kids in need. And so they provide meals, and they have a new shopping center over just down the street from us on Waters, and they're going to allow kids to kind of come in and shop.
Nice.
And kind of provide them an opportunity that they haven't really been able to do maybe on their own, or maybe their families are struggling a little bit more than others. And so we've been super excited, and that was supposed to be this week, but it's going to get pushed to in July. But just kind of giving back there. Kids are obviously part of everything that we do, and so that's our last big 912 push. And we were able to give back a couple $1,000s to the community in different aspects and different pockets, from Richmond Hill to Effingham to Savannah, Meals for Medical. And so we're going to wrap it up with a big donation to PAC, and it's not going to just be monetary. Obviously that's helpful, but for us, it kind of goes to the next level. So we're going to do some sporting equipment and some gear and make sure that we can hook some kids up in this town with some extras right now while everybody's kind of struggling.
Sarah, you mentioned a little bit before on with Tormenta. Walk us through, if you can, what the partnership between you guys and Tormenta will look like.
Well, I can't spill all those beans quite yet, as all and hopefully some of our listeners. It's been kind of a hectic time in sports lately.
Just a little.
So, everything's kind of been on hold, but they are planning on coming back as a pro side. Their youth side has started camps and stuff like that. So we're sponsoring their summer camps, and then long term, I think that you will see a large growth between Tormenta and Specialty Sports, and also our custom side as well. Hopefully being more of a presence in Statesboro when they open their new facility, hopefully sometime in 2021. And just kind of bridging the gap in this community between soccer and families and giving back. And so I can't spill all the beans, but it's definitely a good direction that they're headed in.
And you're watching and listening to the Wednesday Night Live Coach and AD special every Wednesday night here, sponsored by Specialty Sports on the Coaches Sports Network. So, all right. So let's get to the other side. I found that picture on the internet of you with a bunch of girls. And those girls are some pretty special soccer players here in Savannah, Georgia. So tell us who they are, and tell us how long you've been involved in coaching soccer here in Savannah.
Well, that's my senior class currently. They're special to me. So that picture was back in November or December at our last official club gathering. And you'll see there's another Cavalier in there that's currently going to be a sophomore at Georgia College playing soccer. So she's not a senior, but the rest of that group in gray uniforms are my seniors at Savannah United. And they've been with me for 3 years. I've been coaching soccer in this town since I was in college, actually. And I can't spill my age, because I'm getting a little bit older. but it's been about 6 years.
Nice.
And I'll give you a little backstory. Hayes Griffin just turned 13, and I had Hayes when he was 6 years old. Him and his sister Addison. And so I met Chad quite a few years ago, and we kind of stayed in touch. And his kids sadly don't currently play soccer. I'm still working on that. Don't worry. There's time. It's not over, okay? And so a couple years ago, I decided that I was looking for a change, and Chad gave me the opportunity to be the assistant coach at Calvary Day School, and been blessed to be there for a couple years. And he puts up with my busy schedule and calling him and saying, hey, I can't make it today. And so I'm super appreciative of that. But yes, I've been coaching club soccer for 6 years, and I've been at Calvary now, I don't know, 3.5, we'll call it, of sorts.
Well, hey, and speaking of that, I think people sometimes forget the relationships that we build as coaches. And you look at the group of girls that you've been able to work with over the years. I mean, one, you're a goalkeeper like myself. So obviously, you have an affection for those. But talk about the depth of talent that you've been able to see the growth come out of Savannah over your time here in college and university that these young ladies have gone through to play at the next level.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Where I come from, everybody goes to play college soccer. And when I moved down here, I kind of saw this need that, we hadn't really necessarily focused on getting our kids to the next level, or if we did, we weren't really working together enough. And my kids will joke or not joke that I'm a little bit hard on them. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. But they have all kind of succeeded. And even those that, aren't from, right here with me. And actually, gentlemen, we're about to get rained on, so we're going to take a walk. But, it's really crazy. I've seen Tormenta's girls grow and my girls grow and, Richmond Hill's girls grow. And so it's just been really nice to see that this town is put together and kind of joined together to push to get the kids to the next level, because that's what it's about. If they've decided that they want to play in college, that's our goal as coaches, is to help them get there in whatever way possible. And so, they've put in the work. I just kind of got to see them do it. Trust me, I didn't do anything for them. They've decided that that's what they wanted. I just kind of guided them along the way. And so it's been, I'd say the last probably 4 years, girls soccer, at least in this town, has really kind of taken off, and it's been good to see and support them. And I'd say we probably have 29 or 30 girls that are playing collegiately right now, between all the clubs in town, and that's amazing for Savannah.
I hope you're making it to a car or a shelter there, Sierra.
I'm headed there. I don't know if you can see, but I was at training in Richmond Hill, and it's now pouring.
You're going to get a little workout yourself right now.
What's a little rain, right?
All right, when you get settled down, we'll come back and talk a little more soccer. We'll let you get to your car. All right, Chad, you were up at Thomaston talking with the Georgia High School State Association. 30-second clock in 2 years. Any other interesting things that we want to tell the public?
The biggest thing, was obviously the basketball. Tom Crean was there from the University of Georgia, talking about the, importance of basketball, the fluidity going forward, talking about the shot clock, obviously, from that perspective. And, the fact that we get to phase it in over the next couple of years is important. It is going to be a financial take. I think people understand that. It's going to cost to put shot clocks in. You've got to have someone run it, which, right now we're looking at, hey, you'll take a fourth official like you do in football and put them in there to run and do this. And then there's some track things that happened. They're going to phase in the 4x2, which is big for sprinters in 2022. And then the 4x800 will go in, which is big. What the goal of Georgia High School and a lot of the track people are to be in line with what other states and what national federations schedule the meets have gone. Sometimes states just go off of their various own things, have done their own things. And the one thing I do give Georgia High School a lot of credit with, and the people on these committees, is they're trying to align things. So, hey, if you go run a meet in Georgia, it's the same event schedule as Alabama or Florida or North Carolina or Tennessee or whatever. And so everybody's kind of running the same thing and understand that and playing by the same rules. And that's what Georgia's done a lot of the last couple of years with our executive committee and with the committees coming out is, hey, let's just get in line with what everybody else is doing. And then make sure that, hey, when our kids go to another state or vice versa, there's no questions about how it's going to happen because we're all on the same page. But yes, Lee, the shot clock got a lot of publicity this week. I mean, the second it was passed, it was on Twitter everywhere, from that perspective. And, hey, listen, that's a game of basketball. That's the way it's going. I know a lot of people feel like, hey, having a shot clock in high school is not fair. You can talk some negatives about it as well, especially if you're a smaller school, hey, or you don't have as much talent. Hey, you get to kind of, hey, move the ball around, pass it around. But listen, times change, games change. You get a shot clock when you go to college, so you might as well start adapting now, and that's what we're doing as the Georgia High School Association.
But people don't realize, everybody thinks that the shot clock in high school basketball is used across the United States, like 40, 50 states are using it. There's only 10 states using a shot clock in high school basketball. And go ahead.
Yeah, 10, you're right. 10 states right now are using it. But, this is one thing that Georgia has started to attack of, hey, let's not be reactionary and be one of the last states like some of the things we're doing in track and wrestling and some other stuff. Even the things we're doing in wrestling, we're aligning with other states and other federations to do these things. And so now Georgia, and also you got to remember, like, Georgia's become just a hotbed in recruiting, especially in the Atlanta area, for Division I basketball players. And so college coaches, they want to see this. They want to, and so it's just, Georgia is being, forthcoming on it instead of being reactionary. And it was overwhelming. It was a, pretty much unanimous vote. There was probably, I think, maybe 10 people out of that didn't vote for it. And listen, you can have your reservations financially, but listen, there's going to be certain costs of playing athletics, and this is just one of them.
No, I agree with you, but I just, I love the shot clock. I had a coach when I first started coaching high school basketball. New York's had the shot clock for everything. And believe it or not, a little bit of basketball history, the shot clock was used in girls basketball so they wouldn't hold on to the ball and you wouldn't get 4-2 ball games or 5-5, 6-5 ball games. That's why they put the shot clock up in New York in girls basketball, because people weren't trying to score. So, it works out great. It's going to be a total different game for a lot of people down here. And one is, you're going to have to try and force the offense to do something different that a lot of people aren't used to doing. And you're going to have to play a little bit better man-to-man defense.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's just part of athletics, man. You, as coaches, you adapt and overcome. It was good to see the phase in over the next couple of years will be important on how they're going to do that. Now it's just a matter of, how we're going to make it work as athletic directors within our facilities. But hey, it's like anything else, Calvary Day School went without play clocks for, I don't know, as long as I've been here till we got turf and we got a video board, and it's like, hey, we need play clocks. So we put in play clocks, BC puts in play clocks, Country Day puts in play clocks, and they're like, how do we exist 17 years without having play clocks?
Right.
And now, you go from having, penalties on delayed games to almost none because of play clocks. You're like, God, why didn't we do this 10 years ago? It's just reality of it.
And everybody likes it. So we'll see what happens. Now, I got to go back to the soccer side with Sierra. Okay. So tell me something about these girls. I really do appreciate it. I know this is the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, but I also, my sister Facebook page, my other love is the Prep Sports Report. And you helped me out with so many girls, getting them, senior girls that you coached, spotlight that, they weren't going to get because the season ended. So, Martinez, Powell, I think there was like 4 or 5 of them. So tell us about you girls.
Yeah. So they're a good group. And pretty much anybody that knows me, and I know both of you will understand this. I really feel like my job as a coach is to promote them, and they do the hard stuff. I just stand there and yell at them truthfully and see what happens, right? Like they
You're
do
coaching
it all.
them. You're not yelling at them. You're coaching them.
Motivational speaking.
Motivational,
right?
speaking.
It's all with love. I promise. But yeah, so just out of this 2020 class, one's going to Mercer, one's going to Wofford, two have decided to go to Georgia and not take the opportunity to play, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got one going to Tennessee to go to Bryan College. We just had another Effingham girl that does play for us. She's going to go to Bruton Parker. And so it was kind of my goal this spring when we decided that we weren't going to have sports, unfortunately, to kind of push the girls that didn't have a senior night and didn't have the opportunity to finish their season with their friends and whatnot. And so, I encourage them to get involved in the community, and I love athletics in our community. And so I just decided to help push them, and I appreciate you guys doing that as well. But they've worked hard, and quarantine was definitely hard. Pandemic was hard on them because they couldn't be together and they couldn't really train, right, of sorts. They could go out on their own, but as we know as coaches, it's not always easy to do that by yourself. It's nice to have somebody to kind of push you, or a teammate to push you. And with all of them going on to play college soccer at the next level, they really missed having their friends and having their teammates to say, come on, let's go, run faster, get to the ball, and things like that. And so now with some openings, we've gotten to be able to be back out on the field in small groups, and kind of work and push. And so I've got a couple girls that go out 2 or 3 days a week by themselves, 2 or 3 days a week with me, 2 or 3 days a week with another coach. And so they're putting in the work right now. And it's not just our seniors. Obviously, that's our focus right now because they didn't get to have what most get to have. So they're working hard, but it's even, our freshmen that are back, our sophomores that are back. I know some girls that were back in town that are going to be juniors and seniors. And so I know you guys had DJ and Chris on this past weekend. And so, I've kind of pushed some girls out to do spirit and work hard with that group and be challenged in just a different environment. And so, one day Sierra as their soccer coach ends, one day, Coach Carl's not a coach to these certain humans anymore. And most of my kids will tell you that if they call and, they're now juniors or seniors in college, I answer my phone as much as I can. So it's not like we're sending them off and we won't be here when they call, but, it's just kind of helping them get to that next level and maintain it and see them grow into the wonderful humans that they are supposed to be. And they're working hard, trust me. So I know I've gotten a few calls from their coaches saying, are they sitting on their couch? I'm like, did you recruit them to sit on their couch? Because that's not them. They're definitely working. And so it's been fun to kind of see them be pushed and challenged. And collegiate, any sport is going to be about how mentally tough you are, not just physically, but also mentally. And so I think that pushing themselves a little bit during pandemic was probably good for them, truthfully.
No, definitely. You got to deal with adversity, whether it's in life or in a sporting event. So yeah, they had to learn a lot. Coach.
Hey, well, sir, you mentioned the new women's team here, the Spirit. And we got to have their ownership group on the other day, and we lost their connection with their coach a little bit before we really got into some other stuff. But it seems like their format and really what they're pushing with character and development. The young lady we talked to from Anderson, University up there, hey, she got to come down here and do an internship at a law firm and and train and everything. So the lifting or uplifting of women's soccer in Savannah has to be special for you and for all of us to now have an opportunity for college kids to come back and to train during the summer, kind of like the Bananas have with the Wooden Bat League. Now we have another group that can come, train, play, and hopefully Savannah itself can embrace that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think secretly we'd all like to be some sort of a Savannah Banana in some regards. They've really done some great things. And women's soccer in Savannah, pretty much like anywhere else, has kind of been on the back burner, truthfully. And I'm not one of those coaches that says girls are better than boys or boys are better than girls. Yeah. It's just not the same. That's life. And so it is nice to see a group try to tackle that very hard environment. I mean, semi-pro sports and anything is not about the money. It's about the individuals involved, the coaches, the players, and getting the experience to hopefully get you to the next level if that's your dream. And so that group is definitely working hard, and they're providing opportunities that nobody else has been able to do. And very sad that obviously they're not going to get the season that they hope for, that anybody supporting them was going to hope for, but they're going to get a couple games in and be able to do some trainings and things like that. So they're starting hopefully by next summer. And there's some things in the works that could happen before then, but if it is next summer, they're ready to go 100% full rampant. I mean, if you think about it, if you can take the best women's soccer players that return to Savannah, because most, at least freshmen and sophomores, return home, right? Your juniors and seniors might start your internships. But if you can put them all in one location and let them train and play together, you're going to have good results, no matter what. And that's kind of what the Spirit is trying to do. They're trying to put the best players they can together. And obviously this summer won't look quite like that, but it's still an opportunity for girls in our area that hasn't truly been here. I'll be honest, I have supported Buford FC in the past and seen what they've done up there. And so it's just, they're not that far, but it's not home necessarily. And they are bringing in out of towners. They have a couple girls from Columbia and Atlanta and things like that. But it's also giving our players that are from Effingham and Jekyll and, the Camden area and just the outlying areas that haven't had that chance to come in and actually have talent and challenge them so that they're prepared when they return to their schools in the fall. So, anytime that you can do that, I think it's great. And hopefully they can get the ball rolling here and really step up at the next level next summer.
Yeah, they will be playing this Saturday at 5:30. I think it's their second level or tier team at 5:30. At 7:30, it's their first tier team. Savannah Spirits over at Benedictine Military School will be under the lights. And I got to give a shout out to the other premier club that we have here in Savannah. Savannah Clovers will be having an exhibition game at 6:30 over at Memorial Stadium. So if you want to watch soccer, it's going to be all over the place Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the Clovers have done a good job as well. I know their group and what they're trying to do and things like that. And so, more power to you, 100%. If you can provide that environment, I would hope that this town would get behind you because we don't have the big sports, right? So, again, it's like supporting local. And so I think sometimes that's even better than going big, right?
It's like Chad and I say every week, it's all local, all sports, all the time. It's all local sports, and that's what we love talking about. Chad, anything else for your assistant coach here, but who really is the coach? But we'll let you ask her a question.
No, man, she's great. I've been blessed to have this relationship, and she makes me better as well all the time. And it's just great to have someone you can trust, that you coach with, that you value their opinion. They're going to be honest with you. They're going to be direct with you. They're not. That's one thing I love about Sierra and us is like we're just going to say it like it is to each other, and we understand that, and that's great. And that's the way it should be. And listen, I've told her all the time I have immense trust in her decisions and what she does, and she obviously the biggest thing for me is she is so relational, not with our kids, but all the soccer kids. I laugh every time we play somebody else, and she's like, "Hey, your shoe's untied," or "Hey, and it's somebody. Or she's like, "Hey, why are you doing that?" Like, I know you're better than that, don't you know? And so just she's built a great relationship with all of these girls soccer players in this area because she's seen them literally from probably how young they were 6-7 years ago when she started coaching, if not longer than that. She's seen them develop and come up through systems, and she just builds great relationships, and that's why she's successful not only as a coach but in her business as well, because of the relationship aspect.
And I'm telling you, reading those stories, those senior spotlights that those girls turned in, they love them some Sierra like you do, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I promise I
Can't beat it.
didn't pay them to write that.
No, she hasn't paid us a dime. So, but anyway, Sierra, I appreciate you supporting our local sports scene, and I know you're big into the soccer, the girls' soccer, and you know what? It's local. That's what it's all about. And once again, I can't thank you so much for helping us do this, and of course, getting the word out there about soccer, and of course, especially sports, helping the community, giving back during the pandemic.
Well, I appreciate you guys and all that you do, and thanks for having me on.
We'll see you around town, I think.
Maybe. You know where to find me.
We know where to find you. Well, no, you're never around. You're always doing something somewhere else than where you're supposed to be. So, but anyway.
Somebody will find me eventually.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good one, y'all.
You too. You're a lucky guy there. I mean, you got an unbelievable wife at home. You got an unbelievable assistant coach at school. I mean, so you're a lucky guy there. I mean, behind every great man is a great woman, and you got two of them.
Without a doubt. I mean, you learn early on. You surround yourself with smart, talented people, and they make you look really good. And that's exactly what I'm married into that. And then, you know how it is Karl, as a coach and administrator, your job is to put smart, talented people who care about kids around you and just let them go. And that's what we've been blessed with. And that should be all of our goals, you know. Yeah. And I was listening to Dr. Hines talk today at the end of the Georgia High School. He's like, listen, guys, when you go out of this room, remember, it's not about you. It's about the 560 schools that you represent. It's about the thousands of student athletes that come into your school and your doors and that you impact each and every day. And that's our message when we go back out to our schools and our coaches is, hey, it's not about us. It's about how we can impact lives through sports. And that's just what we get to do that. And that's what we talk about all the time. We get to do this. You could be doing a lot of things, but you created the Karl DeMasi Sports Report to talk about local sports, talk about local kids, and we get to do this. We get to talk sports, we get to talk about kids and what they're doing and how they're doing it, and what could be better than that, man? I can't think of anything else better than talking about sports. I think that's just God gave us certain gifts. I can't solve a math equation, but I can talk some sports with you, and that's good.
I can't put up paneling, but I'll talk sports with you. I can paint, but I can't build a house. But anyway, don't forget, we'll be back Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to get Chris Davidovich back on from the Savannah Spirit, the women's premier soccer team now. They're going to play 2 games Saturday. He had a bad connection, so we're going to try and get him back on. We got our athlete of the week, the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic athlete of the week, Jackson Chef from Benedictine Clay Sporting Shooting Team, GISA, the Georgia Independent School Association. I think they're champions. And then, of course, he also shoots for the Forest City Gun Club. So we got an emerging clay shooting, sports shooting junior coming on Saturday. And then we're going to talk a little bit about college basketball with high school basketball, how the shot clock is going to help them improve, help the players improve to go to the next level with a premier Division I basketball player. He's been at the helm at Savannah State now for, I think, 13, 14 years. We're going to talk to Horace Broadnax, who I think he was an NCAA champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, just a little bit. Played a little school up there and outside of D.C. area, So
we'll be back on Saturday morning. Chad, thanks a lot, and once again for making that drive back and forth from going there and coming back from Thompson and bringing us the Georgia High School State Association news. And once again, I'm going to look forward to expanding on that Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and especially looking forward to talking to Coach Broadnax and his helping him help us talk about the transition from high school to college and how important that is for the shot clock coming in there, and also talking to the coach again from the Spirit, about how they're going into their first games this Saturday. So it'll be a great show once again. And
we got one of the team members from the Forest City Gun Club Junior sports shooting team, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll talk to you later. Appreciate it, Chad.
Got it, man. Anytime. Thank you, brother.
And once again, I would like to thank our sponsor for making the show possible every week, Specialty Sports, located at 702 Mall Boulevard. Yeah, they specialize in soccer and volleyball and disc golf, but they also have a lot of apparel and sporting gear you can get there. Sierra Thomas, who you just heard, not just working at Specialty Sports, but she's touched so many of our young girls' lives through the sport of soccer. And I'm telling you, some of these write-ups that she had her seniors turn into me, and I don't know if she read the most influential person in their life. A lot of them said Sierra Thomas. So once again, I appreciate that. So remember, every Wednesday night, we'll be here at 7 o'clock with Wednesday Night Live, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be back Saturday. So this is the coach, Karl DeMasi, for the AD Chad Griffin. Enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully it's been the best week ever. And remember, the Coach and AD will be right back from the Sound Garden Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on the Coach's Sports Network. Talk to you Saturday morning. Glad you tuned in.